Did you or did you not steal from Mr. Phelps' store, Ms. Dobson?
Wow.
It's a simple question. Did you or didn't you?
Court is now in session. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The accused, Ms. Kelly Dobson, stands charged with petty theft under Penal Code Section 484. The offense was committed on September 25th at a business by the name of Mike's Mini Mart. If the accused is found guilty, she will serve up to 18 months in prison and face a fine of $15,000. The prosecution side will be represented by Mr. Ropik, and counsel for Mrs. Dobson, she will be representing herself. Is the prosecution present?
I am, Your Honor.
You may proceed with your opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, I just want to start by asking you a question. How many of us in this room are pursuing the American dream? I probably bet all of us, right? Well, that is all my client, Mike Phelps, is doing as well. And that is what the accused, Ms. Dobson, tried to steal from him that day on September 25th. We're not talking about just a few items from a convenience store here. We're talking about his American dream. And if we let something like that, like this, happen, where she can just walk in and take whatever she wants, his American dream and other people's American dream that are like Mr. Phelps, that owns a store or anything like that, will be turning into an American nightmare. Because it starts with one item or two items this week, and then next week it's another item, and next week it's not only her, it's more people coming in and stealing, just thinking that they can take whatever they want, right? Somebody needs to be held accountable so they know that these actions are not good. Obviously, she doesn't think about the consequences. She doesn't think about how it affects somebody else's life. She's only thinking about herself. You know, I'm sure Mr. Phelps has his own family to take care of as well, and everything in his own life. And he's poured in a lot of effort and time into owning his own small business. I believe that she belongs behind bars. She needs to be behind bars because she needs to be held accountable for her actions. We also need to make sure that nothing like this happens again. Not only with her, but with other people like her that think that they can just walk in anywhere, take what they want. It needs to be nipped in the bud now before it happens again. And if she put behind bars now, she won't be able to commit another crime like this ever again. And it also be putting a statement out there to others that think that they can do the same thing, putting a statement out there that this is not right and that you'll be held accountable and you'll be behind bars for doing so. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Ropik, for that impassioned speech. The prosecution may call his first witness to the stand.
Right, Mr. Phelps, please tell us what happened on that horrible day, September 25th, 2021.
Well, Your Honor, it was a day like any other until Miss Dobson came in and she asked if we had any leftover bagels from the day before and if the store accepted food stamps. I told her no and no.
So right off the bat, she's wanting something for nothing. She thinks she can walk in and just grab some free bagels, be on her way. Wow. Please continue. What's next?
Well, the next thing I knew, she was rushing out the store with a bunch of items under her jacket.
And did you call the police?
Luckily, I didn't have to. I yelled out that someone was stealing from our store, and there was an off-duty cop down the street who heard my yell and chased after her. It was a tough break for her.
Or some would call it instant karma, maybe. And what else?
Well, when the off-duty cop caught up to her, She immediately gave up and showed all the items that were under her jacket, and she started crying like crazy.
That may have helped her out in the past of getting out of trouble, but not this time. Your Honor, I believe it's time for her to get what's coming to her, the cold, hard eyes of the law. Mr. Phelps, thank you so much for your testimony. No further questions.
Mr. Robick, it looks like you would like to question the defendant. So at this time, I would like to ask Ms. Kelly Dobson, will you please take the stand?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Dobson, criminals come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. A lot of us are different, but still we're all the same. So the law applies to all of us equally. So when you came in here today, why did you plead not guilty when you were clearly caught red-handed from the officer?
I couldn't afford to pay the settlement.
Come on, there's no reason to lie. Listen, when you do something wrong, you need to pay for it. That's why we're here today. What's the real reason?
I just wanted to explain.
I'm sure you did, Ms. Dobson. I'm sure you feel like you did nothing wrong. Maybe it's because you're a woman and you feel like you can get away with these things, or maybe it's because you only care about yourself and you don't care about how your actions can affect someone else, like Mr. Phelps, don't you?
No, I don't.
Did you or did you not steal from Mr. Phelps' store, Ms. Dobson?
Well,
It's a simple question. Did you or didn't you?
yes. Yes, I did.
Right there, Your Honor, admission of guilt. Caught red-handed once again. Law wins, always. Thank you for that brave testimony, Ms. Dobson. I rest my case. No further questions.
Thank you, counsel. Mrs. Dobson has waived her legal right to counsel, and she will be representing herself here. Mrs. Dobson, you now have the floor to speak on your behalf.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I would like to start off by saying how horribly embarrassed I am to be sitting here today. To be sitting here today means that I failed. I failed so many ways, so many times, that all of my failures have led me here today. Sitting in front of a judge trying to explain why I felt the need to steal to fulfill my baby's most basic needs. I failed as a student, as a daughter, and now as a mother.
Objection, Your Honor. Clearly she's eliciting false sympathies. Everybody goes through hard times. That doesn't mean you have to resort to burglary.
Mr. Ropick, you have had your time to speak. You will remain silent while Mrs. Dobbs is speaking. Ms. Dobson, please go on.
Thank you. Your Honor, this isn't a sob story. It is my life. My mother grew up poor, and she suffered addiction. And I tried my best not to follow in her footsteps. So I got myself a scholarship to a state school. I loved school, Your Honor, but I had to drop out when my mother lost her job so I could help take care of the entire family. Then I met James, who was the love of my life. He gave me a beautiful baby girl, and everything was great. It was the happiest moment of my life. Then James was hit by a drunk driver in the spring. And I blame myself every day because he was working so hard, working double shifts just to provide for us. I couldn't keep a job anymore. I couldn't take care of my baby, my mother, and my siblings. So as you see, I failed in so many ways. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that it was your store. If I could have done it over again, I would have, and I don't understand why I did it. I just know that I came here today so I can explain to him why.
Listen, Ms. Dobson, that is a touching story, and I'm sure you can put the finishing touches on that. The next 18 months is jail, okay?
Not so fast, Mr. Ropik.
But she admitted to guilt.
She is a woman who was dealt a bad hand, and I demand more respect from you in my courtroom. Ms. Dobson, you may take your seat. She couldn't afford legal counsel. She couldn't afford the fine. She came here to tell her story, and that is incredibly brave. Being a single mother myself, I know a little bit about bravery. And I know something is wrong here. Something is very wrong. This, Mr. Ropik, is a gross misuse of our justice system. And I can see from the look on Mr. Felt's face that he feels the same way.
Your Honor, I would like to drop the charges.
All the charges have been dropped. Is there anything else, Mr. Ropik?
Ms. Dobson, I would like to help in any way I can. I don't have a lot to give, but whatever I can give, I will.
You have to pay me first, Mike.
Oh.
By the time you get done with this,
That's enough.
You're gonna be
That's enough.
just as broke as she is.
Get this man out of my courtroom. These charges are dismissed. The defendant is acquitted. And Ms. Dobson, you are not a failure. You're a fighter. And you and your daughter are gonna be just fine. In fact, you're gonna be great. This case is dismissed. You've been acquitted. How's that for your American dream, Mr. Ropik?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you so much. I will not let you down.